Hi, I'm Les from Northwoods Figured Woods, and I've got a few things I'd like to show you about figured woods that you may or may not know. First thing, figure is a naturally occurring grain pattern that can manifest itself in several different ways. Today I'm going to be talking about big leaf maple. Figure can be found in burl, which is a undirected growth in the wood. It can be either in the root portion, the trunk portion, it can be up in the tree, it could be on the limbs, it could be on a lot of different places on the tree. It'll kind of manifest itself as bumps or a very large round part of the trunk. As you're looking at it after the bark has been removed, it has what looks like pins. This is an example of that burl being undirected growth. You can really see that example in this piece here. We've got the pins. We call them pins. They're really sharp protrusions from the wood that are actually that can actually scratch you pretty deeply, and then also little polyps that sometimes develop. But you can kind of see the rings of growth, and then of course on the backside you can actually see the rings where this growth forms and creates a figured pattern. Now also you'll see some dark spots in it. Those are bark inclusions that are natural to the wood. It tends to be more predominant in burl, to have traps of bark inclusions as opposed to any of the other figures. This is a piece of burl also. You can see this bowl was made so that the top of the bowl, the top rim, is actually the natural edge that would be naturally occurring on the burl itself. If you look inside, you can see the eyes of the burl, but you can also see the long rays as this burl has grown. You can kind of see, if you notice here, there's a kind of a V pattern or a diamond shape that takes that burl from the outside towards the center of the tree. That's generally how a burl grows, kind of more in that cone or diamond shape. And on the outside, it's actually probably even more dramatic. You can see those long rays of the burl. The other thing that we'll find in big leaf maple is what we call spalting. It can manifest itself as a black line that runs through, as well as color differences. I think I've heard somewhere that there's 6 or 7 different colors that you can find, from blue to green to red to orange and sometimes white. Here you'll see that there's some variants of red that runs through there as well, also up in here. You'll have also new growth sometimes over old growth. This would be a new formation that was actually just grew, if you can see it maybe there, that actually grew over the top of an older tree that probably was either dead or on the way to dying. That would be considered spalted. This is what we would call curly big leaf maple. You can see the rays of the curl running through the wood. You also see the growth rings coming in a 90-degree pattern, similar to Fiddleback, except that the pattern is more random. Doesn't follow a certain pattern necessarily. Certainly, pattern of going across the wood, but not, all the rays are not close together or bunched up. This is an example of quilted maple, where you can see the more open and closed circular or oblong shapes in the figure, as opposed to here, which would be probably more considered curly. Also, fortunately, this piece also has some spalting in it. You see the black lines running through it, and then also the color all the way through, more of a dark blue and maybe even yellow in some places. This is Fiddleback figure. You can see the rays of the figure going perpendicular to the growth rings. And Fiddleback tends to be more uniform than the other figures, curly or quilted. You can actually see that even more exhibited, probably better even here, where you've got some are a little bit closer together than others, but for the most part, the lines run pretty uniformly. This is an example of Fiddleback in a finished product. You can see the rays as they come out, as well as the growth rings going across perpendicular to it. This is a piece that actually has all the figure except quilted. You see there's burl manifested in this lighter area, and then as you turn the piece around, you can see the Fiddleback, which it runs in very uniform lines going again perpendicular to the growth rings. And then just above it we have curly, which is more random figure. Actually, this particular piece, this area here, could be considered quilted slightly. And then of course you have the different colors, which would be the spalted aspect of it, where you've got the red and browns, and then we have the kind of the rust colors where the small knots are in the piece. And then there's a black line that runs through there. And also, if you see right here, there's a green line. So there's several colors manifested in this one piece.